Hello and welcome back to another episode of Beverage Garage. On this one, we are going to do just basic maintenance stuff on the big green Chevy over here. And don't mind the noise because we're currently under a tornado watch. And, well, I'm bored, don't have anything else going on. So I decided I'm going to come out to the garage and do some wrenching because why the hell not? Anyways, today I'm just going to focus on doing some little maintenance stuff. I think I'm going to start on spark plugs and see how far I go today before I lose power. Anyways, let's get started. Plugs I decided to run are the R45 TSX number 4s by AC Delco. They are a slightly hotter plug than I've been running in this car, but being I'm not running boost or anything high compression or no wild stuff in this engine yet, figured a hotter plug would be just fine. I also started to notice on the old plugs that I pulled off, they are the number 2s, that there is a lot of black around the porcelain, almost like sooty black. Kind of like it's either not cleaning the plug out right, or I might have a rich condition going on, but this car does do a lot of in-town driving, so the rich condition, I guess, wouldn't really surprise me, but I'm going to switch to that number 4 in hopes to sort of remedy that. Like I'm fairly new to this wrenching deal, so I'm just kind of learning as I go along. I mean, you can correct me in the comments if you want, but like I said, I'm kind of new to this. I'm figuring it out on my own. I'm also on YouTube looking up, information on that as well, learning as I go. But yeah, I figured hotter plug, it burn cleaner, burns all that stuff off, and well, guess what we'll do is I'll put some plugs in it, drive it around, maybe put a couple 100 miles on it, pull a plug again, see where we're sitting, and go from there. Like I said, this car's setup isn't too terribly wild. What I've got going on here, it's a 283 small block. It's got an Edelbrock EPS Performer 4-barrel intake with a 600 Edelbrock carburetor. Like I said, nothing fancy. It's got these fancy Edelbrock valve covers because, they look cool. Got a wrapped set of shorty block hugger headers because that's all I could find that would clear the cross member under the car. Yeah, I'm still running heat because driver, she's a street car and I drive it daily. Well, at least try to when it doesn't break. Let's see, I'm running a 2-speed Power Glide with a B&M Ratchet Pro Stick shifter because one day this might be a race car. Right now, it's not race car. Now, because I have those block hugger headers, doing the spark plugs on this is a real treat. See that one is under there somewhere. And I got these two here out in the open, and I got one here. That one isn't too terrible to get at, but if you run a long enough extension, it's kind of in the way of the steering. And it looks the same on the other side. So, I mean, it's a simple spark plug replacement job, but it's just time consuming because you're working around a bunch of different stuff. But just to be on the safe side, before I start on this, I noticed number 1 is a little close to the alternator. So I'm just gonna disconnect the battery so I don't get a little surprise jolt while I'm working. Got my adjustable hammer here. She's left hand, and I'm using it with my right, so you can judge me in the comments if you want. So we're gonna go do this, and we're gonna loosen them. And we're gonna loosen them. And disconnect the battery. There, now I should be good to go. We're not gonna leave that next to the battery because I don't want that to be welded to my terminals. Now, when I said number 1 was a pain, I mean number 1 is a pain. Like, I can't see it where I'm at, so I have to use the camera's lens to guide me into the hole. See, now we're in. Hopefully I can get an extension on there and pull this one out. You little bugger. Just when you think it's ready to come out, it catches a rough spot in the threads. I'm pretty sure I got paint in there when I had this block out and had the engine apart and repainted stuff. Not to mention I'm busting my knuckle on the K-member right now, and that does not feel good. Let me get the light better. If it'll focus, look at this is what I pulled out of number 1. So yeah, it's a little black, and I dropped the spark plug when it came out, so the gap is a little tight. Now you can see these are the number 2s that I mentioned earlier. So gonna keep going with the rest of them. Now these new ones I got from the parts store are pre-gapped to 0.060. I want to gap them down to either a 0.035 or a 0.040, because this is just way too much gap. I'm sure most of you who decided to pick up a wrench and try to fix your own stuff, most of you have done spark plugs, but if you're not sure of what the gap is that you're supposed to run, sometimes it'll tell you in the engine bay. Otherwise, just a quick Google search just to be certain what you're doing. I mean, sometimes if you buy them for your application, they're pre-gapped, so you don't got to worry about it. But I always like to check. It's just nice to know before you put them in. While I'm doing spark plugs on this, I also have my boy's car in here too, and he's doing spark plugs on this one. I'm helping him, you know, preset the gap and trying to, oh, what the heck is the light doing? Anyways, we're setting the gap on this one. We're putting plugs in this one as well. So what's that one read? We're at 0.060, so that's actually perfect spec for that car. So we'll just check it, throw one in, and repeat the process. In order to save time, I am going to gap all of these off camera and then start once again on the spark plugs on this one. Let's go. See, I told you this is boring. And just like that, spark plugs on this side are complete. Off to the next side, it's the same thing. So I'm just gonna do it off camera. You don't have to go through that again. Well, other side's done now, so I'm just gonna get my tools out of the engine bay here and fire it up and see if I did it right. Wouldn't be Brevet Garage without a fail. Dang it. It helps if that's hooked up. Let's see if I'm running on all 8. I am. Sweet. This car does have an extensive story. Now, I started filming on this one, I want to say about 3, 4, maybe 5 years ago. Now, I didn't know how to do any video editing at the time. It was kind of scary to me, but I do have all of that footage and the pictures and the progression that this car took to get to where it is today. So what I'm going to try to do, and I've already been making this video, is I'm making a video introducing this car to the channel, all the stuff that I've had to do to get this car back on the road, which is, like I said, quite extensive. But looking forward to doing that one here in the near future. Stay tuned, because the story is not over. Well, that'll do it for this episode Like just a quick recap, I just did spark plugs on the Bel Air here, run through how to test gap with the proper tool, and well, that's pretty much it. You'll see me next time doing a power steering pump on that one, so stay tuned for that. I've never done one before. Learning experience. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.